For Tuesday, February 10th, 2026. I'd like to open the meeting at 7:30. May we please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
May I have roll call, please?
Mr. Carpenter? Here. Ms. Collins?
Here.
Mr. Hale? Here. Mr. Kucera?
Here.
Ms. Lalonde?
Here.
Mr. Nushai?
Here.
Mr. Sampson? Mr. Shepard? Here. Mr. Solomon? Thank you.
Thank you. Agenda item number 4 is approval of tonight's agenda. Does anyone have any problems or changes they'd like to make in tonight's agenda?
Chair, I move that we approve the agenda as presented for Planning Commission Tuesday, February 10th, 2026.
It's fine. We don't need a motion support on that. If it has any problems, I would not accept it, but seeing no problems, I'll just accept it the way it is, and we'll move on to number 5, which is approval of the regular meeting minutes from January 27th, 2026, our last meeting. This is where we need a motion.
Yes, exactly. So, Mr. Chair, I move to approve the regular meeting minutes from January 27th, 2026. Support.
Motion support. Is everybody happy with the minutes? No changes in it? May I have roll call, please?
Ms. Collins?
Yes.
Mr. Hale?
Yes.
Mr. Kucera?
Yes.
Ms. Lalonde?
Yes.
Mr. Nushai?
Yes.
Mr. Sampson?
Yes.
Mr. Shepard?
Yes.
And Mr. Carpenter?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Agenda item number 6 is public discussion. Is there anyone from public wishing to opine on any matter? Seeing none, I will then close public discussion. We'll move on to agenda item number 7, which is consideration of a site plan amendment for 45 East 14 Mile Road, which is Noble Village. And Andy, you want to talk us through this?
Yes, good evening, Planning Commission. Andy Amott with Givels Webster filling in for Joe. This, as stated, is a site plan review for Noble Village on East 14 Mile downtown. The proposal tonight involves just the installation of 2 overhead garage doors to the rear of the building. The use isn't changing. It's still the Noble Village grocery store, patisserie, and sushi restaurant. The overhead doors will be, there's 2 of them. The western one is 6 foot 6 inches wide and 7 foot 6 inches in height. And the eastern one is 10 foot wide by 9 feet and 11 inches in height. The western doors installation also involves just the storefront glass door and little window assembly as well next to it. Just the reason we're here tonight is because the site plan review section requires Planning Commission to be the approval authority for any door changes on a facade. The facade's compliance with the CC district standards are met because the CC district standards only pertain to the front of the building facing a primary street. I am happy to answer any questions. I think Nick can briefly go over the history, though.
Yeah, I just want to additionally touch on that. I don't know if anyone did a site visit for this site plan review, but one of these garage doors has already been installed, and that was obviously not in the first go-around with the site plan application, but the business owners were able to acquire another piece of that business, and then it was on the building permit that was applied for. And so it was technically approved. I'm not sure it was caught. There was just some miscommunication. And to be completely honest, I've been back there several times until I knew about it. I never even noticed that there was a difference in change of that look back there. So they have shared that both of these garage roll-up doors are intended to be just used for deliveries and storage access, not for public use. And they can dive into that a little bit more, but I do know that when we were there doing a site visit, they indicated that they were having very, very large difficulties of getting all of their goods into the buildings with just your typical regular double-sided door. And so that's why they're going in this direction with the roll-up doors. So I just want to provide some background here before we dive into the conversation.
I have no problem with the doors. I have a problem with that one door's been put in without site plan approval, but you're saying building department looked at it. That's not the normal way of doing business, right?
That is correct, and I think I would take this moment to kind of just rehash the conversation I brought up a couple times, that our ordinance is a little bit over cumbersome when it comes to minor changes like doors and windows, that I think generally when architects are doing work, they consider, obviously cities have different ordinances, but standards relatively stay the same, and if you're shifting a door or window, that may not always be determined as a site plan amendment, but in our ordinance it is. And I know this is not the first time this has happened, and I would say they're relatively minor in the grand scheme of things. It's not like we're here looking to approve a site plan for some type of new business or apartment building, and we did have a conversation with the property owner about the process, and I think there was just a little bit of miscommunication here, but they're happy to comply with the conversation that we have here tonight, and I'll leave it at that for now.
I'd agree with adding the doors doesn't cause me a problem. I think that the committee would probably be okay with it. It's just I don't like it being done after the fact. We did this on 14 Mile. They came in because they moved a window and a door. It was already done before they came to us. We've done the same thing with some of the murals in town. Murals have been painted before they come to us. I think there should be a stopgap in there someplace that buildings just don't do these things without checking first.
Well, again, and my point is that they're the relatively minor items that come in that,
Correct.
don't change the dynamic of the site. They may change the look, but as Andy said, that the standards are for the front-facing side of the building, and these are on the rear of the building, facing the alley and parking lot.
Okay, but regardless, technically,
Yes, I mean,
the building department doesn't have the right to sign off on that,
correct,
but it's done, so
correct.
I'm
And I
pleased
don't
with it.
believe it was done intentionally.
Right.
This was a rather large renovation of the building. I'm not saying things are missed all the time, but of course, the one thing that was missed would have come to you in advance. It's not like it was approved, done, and then, hey, we'll get site plan approval. So
Right.
certainly take some responsibility here, but there was no ill intent by anyone involved.
Okay, got that. Anybody else's comments on?
Mr. Chair?
Sure.
So as far as the new doors, were they intended to be an emergency egress from the interior building? Do they have exit above the doors, or were they just for purposes of moving goods and items and back and forth?
I believe it's just for goods and items. They can probably touch on that a little bit more if, whenever the commission gets to that.
And I
point.
guess it doesn't necessarily involve them, but to Chair's point, as far as what we're having here, and your point as well, that if we're over cumbersome, is that something we need to take a look at? And if it doesn't have anything to do with emergency evacuation and egress, where we have to have exit signs above the doors, like, do we really need to have this level of scrutiny? Or is there some sliding scale that we can look at, right? So if it's substantial to the building, where that, okay, now it's going to be a 25-foot garage door that's going in, perhaps we do take a look at that. But if it's, I don't know, whatever this, what the dimensions is here, we're simply providing for a method in which for them to make deliveries, then, yeah, I don't think why we need to, spend time on it.
That's correct. I think we, at some point, obviously, we'll talk about a little bit more, is addressing the master plan, but taking a look at that site plan review standards in the zoning ordinance, again, I think there's some things that could just use some clarity, there's some things that can conflict each other. And again, my opinion, I think it's a little over cumbersome, and we've talked about it a little bit here, but never wanted to take that next step. But because maybe we're here again, we can at least review it and at least clarify it, maybe add some additional standards or remove some, just to make it a little bit easier.
And just to go back, just for my knowledge, it's that when this came in front of Planning Commission for site plan approval, was Water to Go, that was not incorporated in their original site plan for Noble Village, is that right?
That is correct.
Okay.
They were still there.
Okay, so then that took, when did that change?
It was within the last 12 to 18 months.
Okay, did that come for a review for Planning Commission? I don't recall.
They,
Okay.
I don't recall.
Okay.
well, that would be
It can
the,
be permitted, but because it's reoccupancy.
yeah, and that would be reoccupancy technically
Okay.
in
So
the downtown.
this is retail, it's coming to retail, it's not a
Yes.
physician's office going to retail.
Right.
Or a chemical paint store going to retail.
Correct.
So, okay, all right, perfect, okay. But as far as that door itself, was that a part of the change for water to go?
Well, the roll-up door?
Yeah,
The roll-up door technically accesses where water to go was. They didn't have a door there previously, but that area of the final Noble Village site is a storage room slash kind of like their employee break room. I know a lot of things are changed now, so it might be different, but I do know storage is going to be back where the water to go was.
Which of the doors has already been installed?
The one to the east, so kind of by the corner of the building.
Okay.
where water to go went.
Yes.
Yep.
Do these types of doors promote, this sounds really stupid, the parking situation in that whole vicinity is horrendous. You know, so my question is, having these kinds of roll-up doors, does it promote more of a delivery system where they're backing in and obstructing traffic for that time that because they're backing directly up to the building? And does that cause anybody else heartburn?
I actually think it would probably do the opposite of that, because with a larger door, larger access, they're going to move more goods in and out in a shorter period of time.
Okay.
I don't think that they're going to be backing the vehicle into the building there. They're going to be parking it in the alleyway, which is
Okay.
common for what they do currently.
Okay.
I think this will allow for a more efficient load, unload situation.
Thank you.
Just as a point, Mr. Chair, if I may, the fact that you've got the dumpsters that are right there,
Yeah.
right, so.
For now.
Oh, okay.
Maybe changing. We'll see.
Just
Whole
part of
other
the site
conversation.
plan?
We're not starting
Okay,
that
all
one.
right,
Sorry,
okay,
I should
fair
have
enough.
left that one to myself.
Okay. Yeah,
That's in the plan.
and you have a utility line there too.
Correct.
Yep.
So there's some pre-existing conditions around that area that make it a little bit hard to do a regular delivery.
All right.
And so by doing this, they believe that they can make it more efficient, so to allow more traffic in and out of that space.
No, I agree. Okay, but yeah, we'll save it for parking.
Further discussion by anyone? Questions?
Did an architect look at integrity in back wall, 2 doors?
Like structurally sound?
Yeah.
I believe that they did conduct
plans
that.
are sealed by an
And they're sealed by an architect, so yes. Yeah. And the applicant is here if there's any questions for them as well.
The door was on the plan submitted for the permit of that
Yes.
section, so yeah.
Yes.
Okay, if we're all happy with it, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Rand, so moved.
Support.
So moved.
As it's written.
You should specify.
So
can,
what?
Can we put that in the minutes, please?
I moved to approve the site plan amendment for 45 East 14 Mile Road of Old Village, as presented.
Support.
Okay, and we're not going to add any conditions or anything else to it, so we're all good. Okay, can I have roll call on that, please?
Mr. Hale?
Yes.
Mr. Cusero?
Yes.
Ms. Lalonde?
Yes.
Mr. Nushai?
Yes.
Mr. Sampson?
Yes.
Mr. Shepherd?
Yes.
Mr. Carpenter?
Yes.
Ms. Collins?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, agenda item number 8 is consideration of receiving and filing the presentation from the January 27th, 2026 meeting on 310 East 14 Mile Road.
So, yes, this is just a simple agenda item to receive and file it so it becomes a public document, since they drop off a hard copy version to make sure that the community can access it if they would like to see. This felt more like the cleaner action than just including it in the minutes. I would take this opportunity if anyone would like to provide just any quick feedback. Now would be an okay time to do so. I think that they, based on the brief conversation that was had, seem like they're going to explore moving forward in some capacity. So if the commission wants to chat about it briefly or make a motion, I think either would be acceptable.
It just strikes me as odd. I don't recall ever doing this before. We're simply receiving and filing a presentation.
Yes.
I don't recall that. Glenn, do you recall
It's an
ever
action
doing
that-
this?
It's been a while. I'll just say that.
I don't
It's a
rec-
little fadey after about 10 years, right? So, I mean, not to say that it hadn't happened, but yeah, it's, the last time I think we had something like this was before your time. We had that container apartment complex that was proposed
Oh,
at
down on-
the end of Walper.
Yeah,
Right, they came in with the presentation with a bunch of nice 8 by 10 glossy pictures with circles and arrows, and decided that, yeah, they were gonna present it,
yeah.
right? But it was after the fact, right? So that's the
Yeah.
only thing that comes to mind.
It just struck me as unusual, because they're not asking for a site plan. Are we going to assume that they will be coming for a site plan at some point?
I mean, that's entirely up to them, and you're not approving anything here. You're receiving, filing the 11-page document that, yes, we looked at this, yes, we saw it, it's part of our records.
Yeah.
That's it.
So I think last time they were here, they were just kind of feeling us out as to whether we were in agreement with what
You're not
they
going
were
to see
doing.
construction starting tomorrow if you guys
Oh, no, not yet.
receive and file.
But at that meeting, I think we only had 5 people here, so now we got a full board. So if they're looking for our blessing, I assume the blessing stays the same.
Yeah, I mean, Mr. Chair, if I may,
Sure.
just as far as where that location is, right? So we've got that across from Old Port, so right now you have, it's a busy section of town as it is, with Old Port and with Renshaw. My concern is the exit from the parking lot behind Old Port, where their parking scenario would be, and how we would be able to mitigate that, manage it, because I'm also thinking what else is in that area. It's not a fire route from the station, right? That's to the west of that, okay. All right, so that, I don't have a concern about that. It's just about the fact that we used to have a light there many years ago. Is that something that we need to consider, depending on the amount of traffic that potentially could be there with residents?
I mean, I think that's something that might need to come with conversation, but I don't think that'd be fully necessary. I know we've got some pedestrian crosswalks. We have 2 on that stretch 14 mile. And again, I don't think there's a significant amount of traffic coming out of Pear right there to warrant that. But if this gets any legs, we can certainly explore that and have a conversation with the police department and traffic and safety to see if they think it's necessary. I'd be surprised, but I think it's a worthy conversation.
Yeah.
We're going to need a motion for
I'll
this?
make a
to,
motion, we receive and file.
Said apropos, I have a motion and I have support. Should we do a roll call then?
I'm sorry, that was Mr. Sampson
Yeah.
with the motion, and who seconded that? Thank you.
We're just going to leave it to those 2.
Mr. Cusero,
Yes.
Ms. Lalonde,
Yes.
Mr. Nushai,
Yes.
Mr. Sampson,
Yes.
Mr. Shepherd,
Yes.
Mr. Carpenter,
Yes.
Ms. Collins,
Yes.
and Mr. Hale.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. And we'll move on to agenda item number 9, which is master plan review and implementation.
Good to go?
Good to go?
All right, so this is a continuation of an agenda item from last meeting. So we had a brief / in-depth, I guess, conversation, but with only 5 TC members there last meeting, we didn't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. And it seemed like that there was kind of a different direction that everyone wanted to go with the master plan implementation. So about a week ago, I sent out an email to everyone to get some background on where your priorities lied with the master plan, what you wanted to tackle first. And so got a response from several of you, not all of you, provided those responses in the packet anonymously. I'm sure everyone would be happy to share what they responded to. I just felt that would be fine for this meeting. And then also in the packet, I kind of condensed everything, made a couple assumptions here based on the direction some folks were wanting to go with priority items. It seems like the big ones were stormwater management, parking, and then just, I guess, redevelopment as a whole, and that's kind of encompassing the districts and the standards. So I did put some specific goals in that memo, and all I'm kind of looking for tonight is some feedback on that. Is everyone kind of satisfied with this? Do we want to memorialize this document, or did I and we kind of miss the nail here and want to start over again? Again, I would say, based on the responses, everyone's head is kind of in the same area. with what they want to tackle, but maybe priorities are off slightly. But again, stormwater management seemed like the top one that folks wanted to address. And I'll stop rambling now. I'd love to hear some feedback.
Comments, feedback, anyone?
I'm just going to ask a question because this is obviously the first time that a lot of us are new and are looking at kind of like a focus and an agenda for the entire year. What kind of a process do you guys go through in, like, once you've established it, then what happens? Like, does Giffords Webster take over and start running with ideas they have? Do we present ideas? How does the whole thing go from here on out?
So I basically see it as like a glorified Christmas list. This is a list of things that we would like to see in the next 5 years. And every 5 years we revisit this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's basically putting it down on paper what our goals are, what we're looking for.
Yeah, and I would note that I'm not sure that from the last master plan in 2018 to when we restarted looking at it now, it was something that was considered much by addressing some of the action items. So there is some carryover from that plan, and that would consist of looking at the 14-mile corridor. There's a few districts there that fit, but the current lots makeup don't really fit this district, and so kind of reviewing some of those standards and maybe changing some of our zoning districts to allow for more flexible uses. I know in the master plan we talked about just having a mixed use district to get rid of the office space because it's kind of prohibitive, and so to open up some more opportunity for development there. But again, to directly answer your question, we're kind of paving our road right now. And I think it's an opportunity that allows us to kind of choose the path we want to go down. And once we select the kind of priorities, to kind of piggyback off what Mr. Kucera said, is Giffords would, as we do now, kind of present a memo with some potential ordinance language on how this could be enacted in Clawson, brought to the commission discussion, and if people on board with it can approve it, recommend it to city council, or if after talking about like, hey, we're doing a good job right now, or hey, this might not fit Clawson, we can kind of check that action item off, like, hey, we talked about it, we aren't comfortable going in that direction. But it's kind of just setting a table and a timeline for us on where we want to go now that we have the document.
And did we have a master plan in place before Giffords and Webster? I don't recall. It just seems like it got really active since.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
Since
And McKenna put one together.
I
We
don't-
had one from before.
I
Yeah,
don't-
you're required to review your master plan formally every 5 years, so you don't want to get to your 5-year mark and realize we didn't do any of this. Sometimes communities let that happen. So it is nice to jump on top of this right now while you just got this adopted, in the summer of last year, right, summer?
Yeah.
Is when this
Yep.
was adopted, and move forward with, meeting some of these action items now.
Mr. Chair, if I may,
Sure.
as far as I think our cadence kind of got off years past, but McKenna was the group that did our master plan at least twice before. So
Okay, so this is,
Vidya Krishnan was the master, she was our city planner at the time.
yeah.
At that point, and then Greg, I can't remember his last name.
Yeah, I can't remember his last
Yeah,
name.
but anyway, yeah, we all know Greg.
Elliot.
So-
Elliot, yeah.
So, yeah, that had been done before.
Yeah.
And
Okay, but we only revisit it once in a while, and maybe that's why.
That was the thing, right? I know, again, as far as, we're mentioning as far as the cadence, right? So
Yeah.
it should have been 5 years, and I remember when I was on planning commission, should have been the year before, and we got to it the year after.
Yeah, so we-
But my memory could be incorrect.
So we're being much more active with it now than we were.
Oh, absolutely, which I think we need to be.
Right,
And-
and if you recall, I'm not sure who was on the board at the time, but within the last year, we've added the bylaws to do a review of the master plan at the beginning of each calendar year. And so we're kind of doing that now because this is the first year of it enacted. We're kind of tackling it at once, but come January of 2027, we'll probably do a similar review of what we've accomplished this year and kind of reestablish the goals and objectives. And that way it's always on the forefront of what we're doing.
When does the new master plan actually get implemented? How
That's
often does it?
5 years it's looked at.
Every
And
5 years, it's looked at, but what is it? Is Is there like a time period that?
You can implement these actions whenever you feel like it.
Okay.
The things that are in your power, some things are
Is there
not.
an overall like vote of implementing the entire thing, or is it like item by item?
Well, so the
Item
master,
by item.
yeah, the master plan as a whole is just like your guide.
Wish list.
Guide, wish list, yes, thank you. And then from that, like, you don't have, it's not like you're required to do anything with the action items, but ideally, you've done enough public engagement, conversation about the topics itself that you want to explore them to then enact ordinances that either change, add, or edit the zoning ordinance for people to follow with new development.
And will we be sending this on to mayor and council for their blessing?
With the goals and objectives?
Yeah.
No, because then you'll start, ideally, approving ordinances at the planning commission level that'll go to city council. So like, they're not approving the
They're not
priority here,
approving
like,
the entire plan.
they'll,
Okay.
you know, could have a ordinance about stormwater management that you're required to have 15% higher than the requirement. I'm using that as an example. You could approve it, the council can look at it and say, yep, that's great, approved, or they can say, hey, we're not really interested in this right now, and either send it back or say, well, you don't want anything to change. I mean, you know, we'll kind of cross that bridge when we get there, but that's kind of the way the process may go.
Okay.
But what year is this?
This was 2025.
25 was made?
Yep, last summer.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, if I may, as far as the review every once in a while is important, because as we looked at this for sustainability, one of the key things that we were looking at was how we can strengthen our EV placement. Now, if people have been paying attention, EV market is now not what it was.
Yeah.
So, for the fact that the Ford F-150 Lightning has now been canceled, right, that's completely changed. Now, I'm not saying take it out entirely, but perhaps our momentum in trying to get that as part of an overall strategy, maybe we need to look at it again. Especially if we had it for some requirements. I don't recall if we did on some site plans, but, you know, maybe we need to encounter that again and review, you know, what the market actually would merit us to still keep applicants to that standard. So, but one thing I would like to just say, as far as when it comes to stormwater mitigation, I'd like to try and make sure that we're incorporating green space and preservation of green space. So it's not just as far as hardscape and infrastructure that, but as far as making sure that we've got permeable surfaces that will be able to percolate the water. And then also, obviously, you know, my topic, right, that I put out, you know, increasing the tree canopy. All right, so in those ways. But one thing that did strike me, as far as for, you know, I'm curious about other opportunities for diversifying housing options. The one thing, you know, the first one was ADUs, and if people understand what that is, and do we have places within our community that would allow that without necessarily compromising the amount of permeable surface and green space that we're trying to preserve.
Right. Yeah, I mean, certainly an important topic, that could be one that's tied into multiple ones. I mean, there's some topics that we'll just specifically talk about parking for one meeting, but there could be another meeting where we're talking about 4 or 5 different of these action items that are important but smaller in nature and conversational.
But as far as explaining what an ADU is, I'm not sure if everybody understands.
Accessory dwelling unit? I won't answer.
It's a grandma's shed.
Well, that would have been one of my comments. When we use acronyms, we should at least explain one time.
Explain what they are, yeah.
And because being a new person, I've gone through here, taking all the books going.
Oh, well, in the memo, I just copy and pasted language, so I probably
I think
could
we have
have
a
just
glossary in the
done that,
format.
yeah.
Glossary or just explain them once, so we, first time you use it.
Well, I think that raises a good example of what we're doing here is the master plan might have said something broad as a goal that said something like ensure we have various housing options for our residents here. And then the action item might be find a place where ADUs can be permitted. Then your action here to implement the plan is to figure out, with our help, Giffords Webster and Nick's help, figure out what exactly the ordinance should say as it permits the ADUs. So that's kind of your point here in the next however long you want to serve as a planning commissioner, and in light of this master plan, is to figure out good ordinance language for ADUs or for whatever your goal is.
Further discussion? There's a map included in this, it's in black and white, so the legend is shades of gray, so it's a little hard to follow. And it says it's a draft of the future land use for Clawson, Michigan, but it's May 22, 2024. Do we have anything more current than that?
Well, that future land use map was first drafted when we were talking on the master plan, because if you recall, before the master plan was approved last summer, it took us about a year and a half to get to that point. So this is when that document was first drafted. So it's approved, but I believe Joe just pulled that from a document. So that is our most current.
That should be the final
Yeah,
adopted
that should be the
one. I don't
future
know
land
why
use
it
map.
says draft.
I think if we could get full-size copies of that, you know, the big blow-up
Yes.
copies.
And again, I intended to have those printed out today, but ran into some things outside of work that took me away. But by next meeting, I'll have printed out copies of the current zoning map and the future land use map for everyone on larger than 8.5 by 11 paper.
I think
I'll
that'd
see
be a
what
lot.
we have in stock here, but it'll be larger than 8.5 by 11.
Much more helpful, I think. Okay.
Mr. Chair, if I may. So as far as, I'd like to see how we can incorporate the new Parks and Rec master plan and how that, you know, if there's anything that it abuts with what we're trying to do, what we already have in place, and how we can incorporate their goals and objectives in what we're trying to do.
Yeah. So then, what I think we'll do is, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, but everyone seemed to have very similar top concepts, is we'll work over the next 2 weeks on developing a more formal document of priorities, and then present it to you, and can either amend, approve, or deny it. We can kind of go from there and start tackling these items.
We have no deadline on this?
Unless you want to set one.
No, I'm not, I don't want to
The master plan police aren't going to come down from Lansing and come to Little Old Clawson.
If we had something specific, I would want.
Yeah, okay.
It can be like a work plan, like a, you know, we can
Yeah.
add a table that says, let's tackle these points and, you know, over the next so-and-so time frame.
Yeah, and it realistically is just holding ourselves accountable to making progress on it.
Right.
Mr. Chair, if I may, just
Sure.
one last item. I would like to see something happen regarding the Sustainability Committee, and have a time frame and when that can reconvene.
Yeah.
So if we can have that by the next planning commission meeting.
Next meeting?
Yeah, I think that there's some things that, from last time to this time, want to do a little bit differently, just to restart it. The subcommittee, I think there's been some different ways that we can create subcommittees of planning commission, so I think we can test this out in action now.
How large is the sustainability group?
As large as we want.
It depends. So, and that's what I was referring to, is the sustainability committee
Mr.
previously.
Mr. Solomon's on it, right?
So, it was never really a board, it was kind of just an invitation, and
Oh,
about
okay.
2 to 5 people were regularly involved in that, and I think what we should do this next time is to formalize it as a subcommittee of the planning commission, so to appoint, say, 3 members here, and then see if any of the other individuals who aren't on the planning commission, if they're interested in serving on the committee. And again, they're not going to necessarily be voting on anything, it's just conversationally to then present to the planning commission
Right.
if there's any language, documents, items to.
Yeah, if they have any kind of documentation of ideas or thoughts that they've come up with, it'd be nice to share with us, yeah.
How big of a committee would you look at?
I'm sorry to hear.
How big of a committee would you look at?
I mean, we can't have more than
Quorum.
4 planning commissioners on it, so I think probably 3 would be a good number from the planning commission. And then that could be the formal committee, but then it can be invite to anyone else who's interested in sustainability in Clawson.
Because I know the last one, I know 2 people that tried to get on and never got called.
Yeah, there's still is an email listserv blast out there. I think there's 35 to 50 people on it that were always sent the invite for the meeting, the Zoom meetings, and then it would end up being some
most
folks at
6.
Giffords Webster, Mr. Shepard, myself, and Mr. Solomon.
Mr.
So-
Arlen was there too.
Yes, yes. So I think we can start trying to get that off the ground, but do it a little more formally this time than just say, hey, we have a committee. Whoever wants to be on it, you're on it.
there's no further discussion, we don't need a motion or any action.
No, sir. We'll present some more to you next week, and at that time, we may ask for a motion, but again, you're not required to.
Say we'll come back to it. We'll move on to agenda number 10 is the planner's report. We have the planner's report,
Nothing from me.
just like Joe. Okay, how about 11, staff report and training opportunities.
First thing I'll note is on Friday, I emailed our 3 newest members, Mr. Shepard, Mr. Sampson, Mr. Hale, that you all have access to the Citizen Planner course. So if you have access, great. Good luck, have fun, learn a lot. If you try to have access and don't, let me know so I can get in touch with the staff at the MSU Extension. I did not have a ton of time to play with the staff report, so there's really not many edits that we talked about the first time. But I'm meeting with our DDA liaison tomorrow, and we're going to kind of talk about it, how we can make it, again, more accessible and understanding for the Planning Commission, DDA, and the community as a whole. So if you noticed around town, the foundation at the former Burger King site has started being poured, so they're moving forward. It does sound like that they are going to move away from their phased approach of development. So the Planning Commission did approve phase 1 of the first floor and then allow occupancy there, and then phase 2 to have the residential above it. It sounds like that they're just going to move forward and do the entire building all at once, which I think is probably the best case scenario. So hopefully that project is wrapped up sometime this calendar year, which will be really exciting for downtown and the city as a whole.
And when were they approved on the site plan? How much time do they have on that?
As long as they're making...
As long as they're working.
Yeah, and which they are. They've had some issues with just architects getting plans and contractors lined up, and obviously they couldn't really start until recently. But they're making good progress now, and we're in constant communication with their team.
So the last site plan that we approved for them was to strictly put the retail in, hold
Yes.
off on the apartments till later. Now they're going to go do the whole thing at one time. So they don't really need our approval for that, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Was there 2 sets of plans they submitted? One for the phasing and then one for the initial?
So the site plan, the first site plan had all 3 floors on it. The phased site plan basically just had the 2 top floors chopped off to show like this is phase 1 is the commercial space and phase 2 was the second, third.
No, but in terms of the building plan, because I'm sure they had.
They submitted everything at once.
They didn't have to amend it in order to accommodate the roof over the first floor in that phasing process?
I know we had discussion because it was going to be difficult for them. You put your retail in, you have to have a roof on it. Obviously, then you got to take the roof off when you're putting apartments on it.
Right.
It would be a lot more constructive problem for them, I think. So maybe that's why they decided to find a way around it.
Just curious.
Yes, so they're doing good. I went by Sham. I see they're digging in the dirt today.
They're correct moving some dirt. They are going to be going to city council probably, I believe, sometime in early March, whenever their council date is in March, to get some type of approval from them to potentially begin building, but that's all I have on that one.
PNC, I think, has removed the house
Correct.
hasn't so far.
Yes.
Expect the rest of the building come to follow.
Yes, again, the DTE, and we have a service that we're trying to get relocated, but once that's done, they're going to get that building down as soon as possible. And they're still going through the engineering review plan, so again, there's nothing being necessarily held up just yet. But once they get the approvals and the utility lines relocated, they're going to get that building down.
I would think the weather's holding them up more than anything else. I was surprised they're digging in the dirt today. That ground's still pretty hard out there. Okay, that's it for staff report. Any other questions on that?
Any idea when we're going to see Baker site plan?
I believe our engineering firm is waiting on a resubmittal of their engineering plans. I think they were nearly completed, so I anticipate that'll be sometime this spring.
This is the developer that's, or this is the homes that are going on.
Baker,
Yeah.
yes. And there's 14 homes there. Yes.
So are they, one last question, we're the Vigilante restaurant, is that not happening now? You approved the site plan for there?
Correct. So that site plan was approved for Vigilante Kitchen, as you said. So the chef or business owner of that site ended up opening Red and the Wolf where Zioli's was. So he kind of just withdrew that site plan. We've had a few conversations with some interested parties there for other type of restaurants and similar use concept, but nothing has materialized.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Chairman, there's a, at the bottom of the packet, there was a reference to a site plan over at Westgate. Is that something that's coming up, or?
Yes, so there was scheduled to be a site plan review on today's agenda for a coffee shop to be built in the parking lot of Clausen Center. So in front of where We Rock the Spectrum is currently in that strip mall. There was some miscommunication with the property owners and the applicant, and so that coffee shop is still planned to be there, but there's going to be a different applicant coming. So they're working on a site plan. So that's probably, we haven't received any plans for them, but I can imagine they're going to want this in front of you sometime in the spring.
A new building you added to the parking lot?
Yes.
We don't have enough place in town to open a coffee shop?
Well, no, but I think it achieves a lot of things, and this is, again, more my opinion, but if you drive by that parking lot, I think at any time, it's barely 50% full outside of 4th of July.
Yep.
And the first plan we looked at, and I imagine it'll be the same, is they're not just putting a building there, they're adding some landscaping, some more green space, so getting rid of impervious surface.
It's an asphalt desert.
Yes,
Yeah, it is.
so,
Front and back alike, yeah.
Well, back too, which is, kind of goes back to, I think, looking at our zone, do we not have that as a multifamily section in the back part of that complex?
of the Boston Center?
Yeah.
No, it's all zoned Westgate.
Okay.
Yeah,
But
we
the property owners have floated that idea.
Yeah, we talked about trying to develop that at one
Yeah,
time.
yeah, yeah.
but that kind of went away.
Is there interest in that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Especially along Samoset, we already have apartments over there, right? And the fact that it's another space that, hey, you know, it's an asphalt desert.
All right.
So,
Glowing endorsement.
like, and there's trash trees along that brick wall, and it's just not doing anything.
Okay, thank you. And we have no legal update tonight, and unless somebody has any comment to make before we adjourn, anything? Motion to adjourn. Motion to adjourn and support. May I have roll call, please?
Ms. Lalonde?
Yes.
Mr. Nushai?
Yes.
Mr. Sampson? Yes. Mr. Shepard?
Yes.
Mr. Carpenter? Yes. Ms. Collins?
Yes.
Mr. Hale? Mr. Cusero?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you all.